Imagine drifting into a city where the most delicate, ancient Jiangnan elegance just completely and seamlessly coexists with a sprawling, futuristic, high-tech metropolis. And when I say Jiangnan elegance, I'm talking about this incredibly specific, almost poetic aesthetic. Think arched stone bridges over misty canals, whitewashed walls reflecting in perfectly still water, and this deeply ingrained reverence for art and nature. It's the kind of place where you can sip thousand-year-old tea recipes in the morning and then, wander past glowing e-commerce skyscrapers at night. Welcome to our ultimate explainer on Hangzhou and its absolutely breathtaking surrounding day trips.
To really understand the gravity of the city, we kind of have to look back. Way back in the 13th century, the legendary explorer Marco Polo arrived here and was just absolutely awestruck. He famously called it the finest and most beautiful city in the world. And honestly, he wasn't just being poetic. He was reacting to Hangzhou's staggering wealth, the booming silk trade flowing through its canals, and an urban layout that was literally centuries ahead of its time in Europe. What this brilliantly illustrates is that the city's historical nickname, the City of Heaven, well, it isn't just some modern marketing slogan. It's an awe-inspiring reputation that has held strong for centuries.
So here is our spatial itinerary for today. We're going to cover the City of Heaven, spiritual peaks and green tea, ancient elegance meets modernity, timeless Jiangnan water towns, and finally, mountains and submerged empires.
Okay, Section 1, the City of Heaven.
Let's start right at the spiritual and historical heart of the city. We're anchoring our journey at Westlake, which, by the way, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2011. Picture yourself on a traditional wooden boat, just drifting past these misty, weeping willows and stone causeways that seem to just vanish right into the fog. But here is what's truly fascinating. While Westlake looks like this flawless, untouched work of nature, it was actually meticulously engineered centuries ago, during the Tang and Song dynasties. Ancient governors oversaw these massive dredging projects, literally piling up the mud from the bottom of the lake to build those iconic causeways. It's essentially a living, breathing landscape painting that was intricately shaped by human hands.
Now, gazing over that misty lake is one of the most iconic structures in all of China, the Leifeng Pagoda. Built way back in 977 AD, it unfortunately collapsed in 1924 after centuries of wear and tear. But it was beautifully rebuilt in 2002 directly over the ancient ruins. So this pagoda really represents the city's incredible resilience. Plus, it's deeply romantic. It serves as the famous setting for the tragic Legend of the White Snake. It's this ancient folktale where a powerful snake spirit transforms into a beautiful woman, falls madly in love with a mortal man, and is ultimately discovered and magically imprisoned right beneath this very structure. It's a story of forbidden love that gives the whole area this profound emotional weight.
Moving on to Section 2, spiritual peaks and green tea. Let's see how the vibe shifts as we elevate our journey from the water up into the lush Emerald Hills. 326. That is the exact year, 326 AD, when the Lingyin Temple, which beautifully translates to the Temple of the Soul's Retreat, was founded. Nestled deep in these forested hills, this incredible sanctuary features Falai Peak. It's this massive limestone cliff face where hundreds of intricate Buddhist statues were carved directly into the solid rock over several centuries. The scale here is just humbling. You walk along these ancient stone paths, totally surrounded by massive trees and towering rock walls. The scent of incense, the sound of chanting, it completely transports you out of the modern world. And just a stone's throw from those spiritual peaks is Longjing Village, the literal birthplace of the world-famous Dragonwell green tea. You can almost smell the fresh, earthy aroma of the emerald terraces rolling down the mountainside. The leaves here are meticulously hand-picked and pan-fried. And that pan-frying process is absolutely critical. It halts the oxidation and gives the tea its signature toasted, slightly sweet flavor. It's a tradition so perfected that this tea actually earned imperial status under the Qing dynasty. The Qianlong emperor was so captivated by the delicate taste that he designated 18 specific tea bushes as imperial property, elevating Longjing to legendary status forever.
All right, Section 3, ancient elegance meets modernity.
Prepare for a total shift in energy. We are leaving the quiet, misty tea fields and heading straight into the bustling urban core. And you simply cannot understand a culture without tasting it. These are your essential, non-negotiable, must-try dishes. We're talking rich, melt-in-your-mouth dongpo pork belly,
Fun fact, this dish is actually named after Su Dongpo, a beloved 11th century poet and statesman who actually helped dredge Westlake, making this a meal literally steeped in history. Then there's the famous Westlake vinegar fish, delicate Longjing shrimp infused with that local tea we just talked about, and beggar's chicken, which is famously stuffed with herbs, wrapped in clay, and baked until it's perfectly tender. Oh, and you absolutely have to grab a steaming bowl of traditional Pianchuan noodles while you're exploring the old streets.
This whole food scene brilliantly illustrates the mind-bending contrast of the city today. On one side of the river, you have Heifeng Pedestrian Street. You're walking through 800-year-old Southern Song Dynasty architecture, passing traditional medicine clinics, and taking in the rich smell of street food. But then you cross the river to the Binjiang Tech District, and boom, you are in a world of neon-lit skyscrapers, the massive Big Lotus Olympic Stadium, and the headquarters for global e-commerce giants. A 1,000-year-old aesthetic, literally sharing a zip code with a futuristic tech metropolis. This happens because Hangzhou has masterfully balanced rapid, world-leading economic development with fierce historical preservation. They didn't bulldoze the past to build the future, they just built the future right next to it.
Just consider this staggering number for a second. 30,000. Right in this urban sprawl, there is a single mega apartment building that houses nearly 30,000 residents. And what's absolutely fascinating is that a huge portion of these people are live streaming influencers, generating massive social media revenue right out of their tiny apartment studios. You might be wondering, why Hangzhou? Well, because this city is the birthplace of Alibaba and the undisputed capital of China's e-commerce revolution. It is an absolute beehive of the modern digital economy, drawing tens of thousands of ambitious young creators who want to make it big online.
Section 4. Timeless Jiangnan Water Towns. Let's escape the frenzy of the city limits now and explore the incredibly peaceful, canal-laced regions that really define the surrounding area. If you want to experience pure Jiangnan elegance for a day trip, you've got 3 distinct towns to consider. First, Wuzhen. It's deeply romantic and cultural, 1,300 years old, famous for its ancient shadow puppet theaters and traditional indigo dye workshops where these vast sheets of blue cloth hang drying in the sun. Next is Shitong, which has this vibrant yet sheltered vibe. Its signature feature is over 1 kilometer of covered corridors along the river. This means you can explore it comfortably beneath beautiful traditional wooden eaves, even if it's pouring rain. Fun fact, you might actually recognize its intricate alleyways from Mission Impossible 3. And finally, Nanshan. This town is wealthy and quiet, renowned for its booming historical silk trade. That immense silk wealth funded incredible 19th century mansions that perfectly hybridized traditional Chinese courtyards with grand Western architectural flourishes. And finally, Section 5. Mountains and Submerged Empires.
For our final stretch, let's move to the outermost ring of our journey into some truly dramatic landscapes. When the summer heat hits, people flee to Monganshan. Imagine breathing in cool, fresh air as you hike through endless, lush bamboo forests. But the twist here is the architecture. Hidden right within this Asian bamboo sea are 1900s European-style stone villas and castles. One of the most famous is the Naked Castle, originally built by Scottish missionaries all the way back in 1910. These missionaries and European elites were desperately seeking refuge from the sweltering heat of the coastal cities, resulting in this fascinating historical anomaly, where rustic European stonework juts out from a sea of vibrant green bamboo. It's so surreal.
And finally, we head to the water. 1,078. That is the exact number of pristine emerald islands dotting the massive Chandao Lake, famously known as the Thousand Island Lake. It's a breathtaking reservoir with incredibly pure drinking water. But you know what? The most mind-blowing secret of this lake isn't on the islands, it's underneath them. Over 1,300 years ago, an incredibly majestic place called Lion City flourished in this very valley during the Han and Tang dynasties. It was a massive, thriving hub of politics and economics. But in 1959, the government intentionally flooded the entire valley to build a massive hydroelectric dam. So today, that perfectly preserved ancient city rests in the dark 40 meters underwater. Because it's completely shielded from wind, rain, and sun, the preservation is miraculous. Divers who explore this underwater Atlantis find complete stone arches, intact wooden beams, and incredibly intricate dragon carvings still clinging to the structures. It is quite literally a submerged empire frozen in time beneath the lake's surface. Which brings us to a provocative thought. Is Hangzhou the ultimate proof that ancient history and futuristic innovation can perfectly coexist? I mean, from a 1,300-year-old submerged city and tranquil tea terraces to a mega building housing 30,000 live streamers, this region proves that deep-rooted tradition doesn't have to be erased by the future. It's a place where they thrive side by side. I hope this explainer has left you absolutely fascinated and hungry to discover this paradise on Earth for yourself. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey, and keep learning.